The massive Imperial fleet emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the solar system, their ships gleaming like metallic stars against the void. 300 vessels, each larger than Earth's biggest cities, formed a crescent formation that stretched across space. At their center, the Imperial flagship, Crown of Stars, pulsed with purple energy, its hull decorated with the golden symbols of 10,000 conquered worlds. In the depths of Earth's Defense Command beneath the Pacific Ocean, General Robert watched the holographic display with practiced calm. His weathered face showed no reaction as the Empire's ships appeared one by one on the screen. The monitoring room hummed with quiet activity as operators tracked the incoming fleet. "They're exactly where we expected them," said Lieutenant David, his fingers dancing across the control panel. "The automated warning buoys are already in position." Robert nodded, taking a sip from his coffee mug. Earth had changed much in the 50 years since their first contact with the Empire. Gone were the days of separate nations scrambling to respond to alien threats. Now, humanity stood united, though few in the galaxy knew just how powerful they had become. The Imperial diplomatic vessel broke away from the main fleet, a sleek silver ship that moved with graceful purpose toward Earth. As it crossed the invisible boundary marking Earth's claimed space, every warning buoy activated simultaneously. A massive holographic warning appeared before the Imperial ship, visible to both the aliens and Earth's defenders. The message was simple, displayed in both Earth Standard and Imperial script. "Attention. You are entering restricted space. Earth and the Sol system are closed to the Galactic Empire. Turn back in immediate ally." In the command center, Robert watched as the Imperial ship hesitated. He knew what they were seeing. The warning was just the beginning. Earth's true defenses remained hidden, waiting. "They're trying to communicate," David reported, his screen filling with incoming signals. "Standard Imperial diplomatic protocols." "Ignore them," Robert ordered. "They know why they're banned. Let the automated systems handle it." The Imperial ship pressed forward, testing Earth's resolve. Instantly, the defense grid activated. A shimmer of blue energy rippled through space, surrounding the diplomatic vessel. Its engines flared as it tried to push through, but the ship remained frozen in place. "Containment field holding steady," announced Captain Mary from her station. "Their weapons and communication systems are offline. Only their life support remains active." Robert stood up, walking closer to the main display. The rest of the Imperial fleet was reacting now, ships shifting formation as they registered their diplomatic vessel's predicament. He knew the next few moments would be crucial. "Multiple energy spikes detected in the main fleet," David reported. "They're powering up weapons." "Let them," Robert said calmly. "Activate Phase 2. Throughout the solar system, hidden satellites came to life. A web of energy began to form, connecting them in a complex pattern that spread outward from Earth. The Imperial fleet's energy readings suddenly dropped, their mighty engines sputtering as Earth's technology neutralized their power. In the diplomatic vessel, the Imperial ambassador watched in growing alarm as their advanced technology failed. Their sensors couldn't penetrate Earth's defenses, their quantum communicators were silent, and their gravitic drives were powerless. "Message from the Imperial flagship," Mary announced. "They're demanding to know how we're blocking their systems." Robert allowed himself a small smile. "Send them the standard response package. Let them see exactly why they're not welcome here anymore." The data packet shot through space, bypassing the Empire's best encryption. On every Imperial ship, screens came to life showing evidence of their crimes. The worlds they had stripped of resources, the species they had enslaved, the cultures they had destroyed. 50 years of Earth's secret observations, compiled and undeniable. "Imperial fleet is falling back," David reported, excitement creeping into his voice. "They're retreating to safe distance." Robert watched as the mighty armada withdrew, their formation right now, their confidence shaken. Earth had changed since their first encounter with the Empire. They were no longer the primitive world the Empire had tried to subjugate. Now they were the defenders not just of humanity, but of all those who suffered under imperial rule. "Maintain alert status," Robert ordered, "and send word to our allies in the outer colonies. The Empire just learned that Earth's ban has teeth." As the Imperial fleet disappeared into hyperspace, Earth's defenses continued their silent watch. The warning buoys resumed their patrol, ready to greet the next Imperial ship that dared to test humanity's resolve. The message was clear. Earth was closed to the Empire, and would remain so until the galaxy was free. 50 years earlier, humanity faced its greatest challenge. The memory of that day remained sharp in the archives of Earth's Defense Command, preserved in both digital records and the stories passed down by those who lived through it. It had started with a simple trade offer. The Imperial delegation arrived in their gleaming ships, bringing promises of advanced technology and membership in their vast galactic community. Their leader, Ambassador White, spoke of prosperity and progress, painting pictures of Earth becoming a jewel in the Imperial crown. John Miller, then a junior diplomat, sat in those first meetings. He watched as world leaders fell under the spell of Imperial promises. Only he noticed how the Imperial representatives always seemed to dodge questions about other civilizations under their rule. The technology they offered was impressive, John wrote in his private journal. But something felt wrong about how eager they were to trade it for our planet's resources. Earth's governments had nearly signed the Imperial treaties. The contracts were prepared, the ceremonies planned. That's when John discovered the truth. Late one night, while reviewing trade documents, he found hidden code in the Imperial data. Working with a team of Earth's best programmers, they cracked the encryption. What they found changed everything. The Imperial trade agreements were designed to drain Earth dry. Hidden clauses would have given the Empire complete control over Earth's resources, its people, and its future. Worse, they found proof of how the Empire had used the same tactics to enslave dozens of other worlds. Their entire empire was built on lies, recorded Captain Lisa in her military report. They would enter a system, offer amazing technology, then use the fine print to take everything. But the Empire had made a crucial mistake. In sharing their basic technology as a show of good faith, they had given Earth's scientists a foundation to build upon. Human innovation took their ideas in directions the Empire never imagined possible. While pretending to consider the Imperial offers, Earth's unified research teams worked in secret. They developed new technologies that combined Imperial science with human creativity. Most importantly, they created defenses that could actually stop Imperial weapons. Professor Allen, the lead scientist of Project Independence, made the breakthrough. He discovered how to generate fields that could neutralize Imperial technology. They built their empire on a single technological base, he wrote. Once we learned to disrupt that base, their whole advantage disappeared. The day Earth rejected the Empire's offer was historic. Ambassador White couldn't hide his shock when Earth's United Council revealed they knew about the hidden clauses. His threats of Imperial retaliation died in his throat when Earth's new defensive systems activated, leaving his ships powerless. The look on their faces, recorded Security Chief Emma, when their mighty ships just stopped working. That's when they realized they weren't dealing with simple primitives anymore. But Earth's leaders made an even more important decision that day. Instead of using their advantage to become conquerors themselves, they chose isolation. Earth would close its borders to the Empire, but not before helping other worlds break free. "We could have built our own empire," General Robert wrote in his memoirs. "Instead, we chose to become guardians. We would share our defenses with other worlds, but never rule them." Over the next 50 years, Earth developed in secret. While the Empire thought they were dealing with a stubborn primitive world, humanity was building a network of allies among the stars. They shared their defensive technology with worlds wanting to break free, always careful to keep Earth's involvement hidden. "Our greatest weapon wasn't the technology," noted diplomat Rachel in her final report. "It was the hope we gave others. Every world that broke free weakened the Empire's grip on power. Now, 50 years later, as the Imperial fleet retreated from Earth's defenses, those decades of preparation were proving their worth. The Empire was no longer dealing with the primitive world they tried to trick and subjugate. They faced a humanity that had grown beyond their schemes, armed with technology they couldn't understand and principles they couldn't corrupt. Earth had become exactly what the Empire feared most, a world they couldn't conquer, inspiring resistance they couldn't control. The Imperial diplomatic ship hung motionless in space, trapped in Earth's containment field like an insect in amber. Inside its crystalline bridge, Ambassador Peter paced back and forth, his ornate imperial robes swishing with each turn. His face, usually composed in diplomatic calm, showed growing frustration. "Impossible," he muttered, watching another attempt to activate their quantum drives fail. "Our technology is superior to anything these primitives should possess." The ship's systems continued to flash red warnings. Nothing worked, not their advanced sensors, not their gravitic engines, not even their basic communication arrays. Only life support remained functional, and Peter suspected that was only because Earth allowed it. On Earth's Defense Command bridge, General Robert watched the Imperial ship's futile attempts to break free. The massive holographic display showed every detail of their predicament in crystal clarity. "They're trying to bypass our containment field with their emergency protocols," Lieutenant David reported, monitoring the readings. "Should we stop them?" "No," Robert replied, a slight smile crossing his face. "Let them try. Every failed attempt teaches them something important about their situation." The Imperial ships suddenly lit up with energy as they attempted to use their most powerful technology. The quantum field generator, a device capable of bending space itself, activated with a burst of purple light. For a moment, the ship's crew felt hope. Then nothing happened. "Their quantum field just disappeared," Captain Mary announced, surprised despite herself. "The null field absorbed it completely." Robert nodded. "Send them the communication request now. Let's see if they're ready to talk properly." A simple text message appeared on the Imperial ship's only working screen. "Ready to discuss the terms of your ban." Ambassador Peter stared at the message, his pride warring with his growing fear. He had been sent to negotiate Earth's return to the Imperial fold. Instead, his mighty ship was helpless, held in place by technology he couldn't understand. "Accept the communication," he ordered through clenched teeth. The holographic connection opened, showing General Robert's calm face floating in the Imperial bridge. Peter noticed immediately that the human made no attempt to display Imperial diplomatic protocols or formalities. "Welcome to Earth space," Robert said simply, "though you were specifically told not to enter it." "This is an outrage," Peter responded, falling back on his diplomatic training. "The Empire demands." "The Empire demands nothing here," Robert interrupted. "This is Earth space. Your demands have no power here. But since you've chosen to ignore our warnings, let me show you exactly why you're banned." The holographic display shifted, showing scenes that made Peter step back in shock. He saw Imperial mining fleets stripping whole worlds bare, saw Imperial troops enforcing trade agreements at gunpoint, saw the secret camps where species who resisted were re-educated. How did you get these recordings?" Peter whispered. "We've been watching," Robert replied. "For 50 years, we've documented everything. Every world you've destroyed, every species you've enslaved, every crime you've committed in the name of Imperial prosperity." New images appeared, showing Earth's hidden observers throughout Imperial space. Small, undetectable probes that had recorded everything. Agents disguised as simple traders, gathering evidence. A vast network of witnesses to Imperial atrocities. "Impossible," Peter said again, but weaker this time. "Our security is based on technology we learned to bypass decades ago," Robert finished. "Which brings us to your current situation. You're not leaving until you understand exactly what happens now." The containment field around the Imperial ship pulsed, changing color from blue to gold. Peter felt a strange sensation, as if reality itself was being rewritten around them. "We're showing you what true advanced technology looks like," Robert explained. "Your ship now exists in a bubble of altered spacetime. Outside, only minutes will pass. Inside, you'll have all the time you need to review the evidence of why Earth banned the Empire." Peter watched helplessly as data began flooding their remaining screens. Decades of evidence, impossible to deny or ignore. "Once you've seen everything," Robert continued, "you'll be released to carry a message back to your masters. Earth isn't just banned to the Empire. Earth has become the Empire's reckoning." As the transmission ended, Peter sank into his command chair. Around him, screens continued to show the truth his empire had tried so hard to hide. And for the first time in his diplomatic career, he felt something he never expected: shame. Deep inside Earth's central archive, Admiral Thomas walked through rows of holographic displays. Each one showed a different world the Empire had conquered, their stories preserved in painful detail. Today, these records would finally serve their purpose. On the main display, Ambassador Peter's face showed growing horror as he witnessed the truth about his empire. The temporal bubble surrounding his ship ensured he had time to see everything. "Show him Section 47, Thomas commanded. The displays shifted, revealing the Empire's secret weapon testing grounds. Entire planets reduced to rubble, species used as unwilling test subjects, all in the name of imperial progress. These recordings," Peter's voice shook, "they're from our most secure facilities." "How did you?" "Project Ghost," Thomas replied, allowing himself a small smile. "While your empire was trying to trick us with basic technology, we developed something you never imagined. True invisibility. Not just to sight, but to all your sensors." The displays showed Earth's hidden observers, ships and satellites using technology that bent light and energy around them. For 50 years, they had watched and recorded, gathering evidence while the Empire remained blind to their presence. "Our first ghost ship reached your capital world 45 years ago," Thomas continued. "We saw your Imperial Council planning their conquests, watched them laugh about how easily they fooled primitive species, recorded everything. New images appeared, showing the Empire's leadership in their most private moments. The casual cruelty, the dismissive way they discussed destroying entire civilizations for profit." Peter's face grew paler with each revelation. "But that's not the worst part," Thomas said quietly. "Show him the Seedfall Protocol." The archive's largest display activated, revealing the Empire's most closely guarded secret. Peter stumbled back, actually falling into his chair as he recognized what he was seeing. "No," he whispered. "Those files were destroyed. No one outside the High Council knows about the systematic destruction of developing civilizations." Thomas finished. "Your empire's practice of finding worlds just beginning to reach for the stars, and either enslaving or destroying them before they could become rivals. The evidence was undeniable. Hundreds of young civilizations wiped out before they could achieve their potential. All because the Empire feared competition. Earth was supposed to be next," Thomas revealed. "We found the plans. If we hadn't discovered your true nature, if we hadn't developed our own technology in secret, we would have been either enslaved or eliminated." But then Thomas showed something that made even the Imperial crew members gasp. Evidence of Earth's secret campaign to save other worlds from Imperial control. Hidden technology transfers, carefully disguised as trading accidents. Defensive systems secretly installed during routine Imperial inspections. A vast network of resistance, all supported by Earth without the Empire ever knowing. "While you thought we were just sulking behind our borders," Thomas explained, "we were helping others break free. Every system that mysteriously developed resistance to Imperial control. That was us. Every world that suddenly had defensive technology you couldn't overcome. Our work." The temporal bubble around the Imperial ship pulse, marking the halfway point of their enforced education. Peter looked broken, his Imperial pride shattered by the weight of evidence. Your empire calls itself eternal, Thomas continued. But we've proven it's built on lies, held together by fear and technology that's no longer superior. And now, others are learning the truth. The final displays activated, showing current images from across imperial space, worlds beginning to resist, colonies declaring independence, all using variations of Earth's defensive technology. The Empire's grip was weakening, and they hadn't even realized why. This is why Earth banned the Empire, Thomas concluded, not just to protect ourselves, but to create a safe space where resistance could grow. Every world that breaks free weakens your control further. And now that you've seen the truth, you can't unsee it. Peter stared at the evidence of his empire's crimes, his worldview crumbling around him. The mighty empire, revealed not as a force of civilization and progress, but as galactic parasites, consuming worlds and species for profit. When you leave here, Thomas said softly, you'll carry this knowledge back to your masters, and for the first time in imperial history, you'll know what it feels like to be truly afraid of the future. Commander Susan watched from the bridge of Earth's defense vessel Guardian as the first shots of rebellion lit up the night sky above Colony World 459. The Imperial garrison never saw it coming. Defense grid activated in all sectors, reported Officer Michael, his hands steady on the controls. Colony shields are holding at full power. Across the planet's surface, hidden defense systems emerged from their camouflage. Technology secretly provided by Earth over the past decade, now revealing its true purpose. The Imperial ships in orbit found their weapons suddenly useless, their engines failing as Earth's null field technology spread through space. They're sending out distress calls, Michael announced. Standard Imperial emergency protocols. Susan nodded, watching the tactical display. Let them call. It's time the Empire learned just how far their control has slipped. The response came quickly. A fleet of Imperial warships emerged from hyperspace, their massive hulls bristling with weapons. They moved to surround the colony world, following standard Imperial protocol for crushing rebellion. All personnel to battle stations, Susan ordered calmly. Time to show them what Earth's been teaching their colonies. The Imperial fleet opened fire, expecting to easily overwhelm the rebel world's defenses. Instead, their energy weapons dissipated harmlessly against shields built with Earth's technology. Their missiles veered off course, caught in invisible fields that turned their own momentum against them. Colony defense systems holding steady, Michael reported. Beginning Phase 2. From the planet's surface, new weapons activated. Not the crude energy cannons the Empire expected, but sophisticated systems based on Earth's understanding of spacetime itself. The Imperial ships found themselves caught in bubbles of distorted reality, their mighty engines struggling against forces they couldn't comprehend. Send the signal to other colonies, Susan commanded. Let them know it's time. Across the sector, other worlds that had suffered under Imperial rule began their own rebellions, each one using technology secretly provided by Earth, each one striking at the same moment. The Empire's control structure, built on fear and superior technology, began to crumble. Imperial reinforcements incoming, Michael warned. 3 battle fleets approaching from different vectors. Susan allowed herself a small smile. Perfect. That means they're not at their other bases. Signal the Ghost Fleet. Earth's hidden ships, invisible to Imperial sensors, emerged from their waiting positions. They moved through the Empire's defenses like shadows, activating null fields around crucial Imperial installations. Base after base went dark, their mighty weapons reduced to useless metal. The Imperial commander's face appeared on the main screen, his features twisted with rage and disbelief. How dare you? This rebellion will be crushed like all others. No, Susan replied simply. This isn't like your other rebellions. This is the day your empire learns it's not as powerful as it thought. She sent him the same evidence package Earth had shown Ambassador Peter. Let him see the truth about his empire, about Earth's long campaign of secret resistance, about how many worlds were now armed with technology that could counter Imperial weapons. Impossible, the commander sputtered. These colonies are primitive. They can't have this level of technology. They've had it for years, Susan explained, hidden in plain sight, disguised as simple industrial equipment. Earth made sure of that. We just waited for the right moment to activate it all. Around them, more colonial worlds joined the rebellion. The Imperial fleet found itself surrounded not by helpless victims, but by worlds armed with technology that rendered their weapons useless. Decades of Earth's careful planning were finally bearing fruit. Your empire built its power on fear and superior technology, Susan continued. But Earth showed these colonies they don't have to be afraid anymore. And your technology isn't superior. It's just all you know how to use. The battle that followed was brief but decisive. Imperial ships, their weapons and engines neutralized, could only watch as their carefully maintained control slipped away. The colonies, armed with Earth's defensive systems, stood firm against their former masters. Send word to Earth Command, Susan ordered as the last Imperial ship retreated. Tell them the resistance has begun. The Empire's grip on this sector is broken. As she watched the Colonial Defense Forces secure their newfound freedom, Susan thought about all the years of preparation that had led to this moment. Earth's ban hadn't just been about protection. It had been about preparing for this day, when the Empire's power would finally begin to crumble. The Imperial High Council chamber, once a place of absolute power and control, had descended into chaos. Reports flooded in from across the galaxy. Colonies declaring independence, Imperial fleets powerless, centuries of control dissolving in days. Another sector has gone dark, announced one counselor, his ornate robes trembling as he read the report. The Centauri colonies have activated unknown defensive systems. Our forces can't maintain control. In Earth's hidden command center, Director Tom watched the Empire's collapse through their network of stealth observers. 50 years of planning were transforming into a galaxy-wide revolution. The Orion sector just declared independence, reported Officer Jane. They're using our shield technology openly now. Imperial forces are retreating from all major systems. The tactical display showed the spread of rebellion like a wave of light across the galaxy map. Each point of light represented a world or colony breaking free from Imperial control, all using variations of Earth's defensive technology. Begin Phase 3, Tom ordered. Activate the free communication network. Across the galaxy, hidden transmitters came to life. The Empire had always controlled communication between worlds, monitoring and censoring everything. Now, for the first time in centuries, colonies could talk freely with each other. Breaking news from the Antares cluster, Jane announced, her voice tight with excitement. They're forming a mutual defense alliance. 5 systems, all using our shield technology. The revolution wasn't just about breaking Imperial control. It was about building something new. Earth had spent decades preparing these worlds not just for rebellion, but for independence. In the Imperial capital, the High Council watched helplessly as their empire fractured. Their mighty fleets, once the symbol of Imperial power, drifted powerless in space. The technology they had relied on for centuries was now useless against Earth's innovations. Show them what's happening at Trading Station 7, Tom commanded. The display shifted to show one of the Empire's major trade hubs. Ships from newly freed worlds were gathering there, establishing new trade routes without Imperial oversight. Earth's technology had given them not just defense, but independence. The Vega Union is requesting direct communication, Jane reported. They want to thank Earth openly for the first time. Tom nodded, and the image of President Anne of the Vega Union appeared on screen. Behind her, celebrations could be seen through the window of her office. After centuries of Imperial control, she began, our people are finally free. Earth's ban of the Empire showed us all that resistance was possible. Your technology gave us the means to break free. Similar messages were coming in from across the galaxy. Worlds that had suffered under Imperial rule were discovering their own strength, building new alliances, establishing their own trade networks. Imperial Palace reports coming in, Jane announced. The Emperor is calling for an emergency session. Their entire system of control is collapsing. The revolution wasn't just military, it was economic and social. The Empire had maintained control through monopolies on technology, trade, and communication. Now, with Earth's help, their former subjects were building new systems of cooperation and exchange. Launch the knowledge banks, Tom ordered. It's time for Phase 4. Across the galaxy, hidden databases activated. Earth hadn't just provided defensive technology. They had preserved the cultural and scientific knowledge the Empire had tried to suppress. Now that knowledge was flowing freely again, sparking a renaissance among the freed worlds. The Arcturian Federation is forming, Jane reported. 7 systems, joining together as equals. They're inviting other freed colonies to join them. Tom watched as new alliances formed, new trade routes established, new possibilities blooming where imperial control had once stifled all growth. Earth's long game had worked better than they'd dared hope. Send word to all our observers, he commanded. Full support for any world establishing independent governance. The Empire's time is ending. We need to ensure what replaces it is better. As reports continued to flood in of imperial power crumbling, Tom thought about the 50 years of preparation that had led to this moment. Earth's ban hadn't just been a defensive measure. It had been the first step in a galaxy-wide revolution. And now that revolution was unstoppable. 1 year after the revolution began, the galaxy had transformed. In Earth's main observation center, General Robert stood before the grand display, watching the flows of free trade and open communication that had replaced imperial control. Final report from the Outer Rim, Lieutenant David announced. The last imperial holdout has accepted the new reality. The Empire is officially dissolved. The map showed a galaxy alive with independent alliances and cooperative networks. Where the Empire had once enforced rigid control, now free worlds work together, each maintaining their own identity while supporting mutual growth. Show me the new alliance meeting, Robert requested. The display shifted to show the gathering on Neutral Station 1. Representatives from 100 freed worlds sat together, discussing trade agreements and mutual defense pacts. No one wore imperial uniforms or displayed imperial symbols. Instead, each world proudly showed its own culture. The technology exchange program is exceeding expectations, reported Captain Mary. Former imperial worlds are combining our innovations with their own knowledge. They're creating things we never imagined. That had been Earth's true victory, not just breaking imperial power, but fostering genuine independence. Each world was finding its own path, developing its own solutions rather than relying on Earth or imperial technology. Message from the Free Worlds Council, David said. They're ready for Earth's representative to join the session. Robert nodded to Ambassador Tom, who had helped plan this moment for decades. Tom stepped onto the transportation pad, ready to represent Earth openly in galactic affairs for the first time since the van. Remember, Robert said, we're not there to lead. We're there to participate. The transport activated, sending Tom to join the council. On the main display, they watched him take his seat, not at the head of the table, but as one member among equals. Trade reports coming in, Mary announced. Free exchange of goods and ideas has increased productivity in all sectors. Innovation rates are at historic highs. The screen showed ships moving freely between systems, carrying not just goods but knowledge and culture. Art and music from 1,000 worlds flowed across space. Scientific discoveries were shared openly rather than hoarded for imperial advantage. Update from the Education Initiative, David added. Former imperial citizens are learning their true history. The Empire's lies are being replaced with facts. Libraries and schools across the galaxy were filling with accurate information about each world's past. The Empire's carefully crafted propaganda was crumbling as people discovered their own heritage. Show me Earth's space, Robert requested. The display shifted to their home system. The warning buoys were still active, but their message had changed. Instead of banning entry, They now served as navigation aids for properly registered ships. Earth was no longer isolated, but it maintained careful control over its space. The transition teams report success in all sectors, Mary said. Former imperial administrators are either adapting to the new reality or retiring. Local governance is taking hold everywhere. Robert walked closer to the main display, studying the flows of energy and information across space. The rigid patterns of imperial control had been replaced by organic networks of cooperation. Worlds that had once been forced to rely on imperial approval now solved problems together. Message from the Free Worlds Council, David announced. They're voting on the final resolution. The council chamber appeared on screen. Tom sat with representatives from across the galaxy as they prepared to formalize the new era. The vote was unanimous. The Age of Empires was officially over. Send word to all Earth installations, Robert ordered. Mission accomplished. Switch to cooperation protocols. Across the galaxy, Earth's hidden observers began to emerge, not to take control, but to join openly in the new galactic community. Their role was changing from secret guardians to open partners. Final status report, Mary said softly. The galaxy is free. Robert looked at the display one last time. The empire that had once threatened to enslave Earth was gone, replaced by something better. Not another empire, but a true community of worlds. Earth's ban had worked better than anyone had dreamed. It hadn't just protected one world. It had helped free an entire galaxy. And now the real work of building a better future could begin.